Welcome to our deep dive into the art and science of racing lines. Whether you're a budding racer, a sim racing enthusiast, or just curious about what makes drivers faster through corners, understanding racing lines is fundamental. Today, we'll break down what a racing line is, why it's crucial, and how mastering it can shave seconds off your lap times. Segment 1. What is a racing line? In motorsport, the term racing line refers to the optimal path a vehicle takes through a corner or a series of corners to minimize lap time. This path isn't necessarily the shortest distance around the track, but is designed to allow the highest possible speed through a turn by maximizing the radius of the corner, thereby reducing the need for excessive steering and braking. The classic approach to a racing line involves three key components. Turn-in point, the spot where the driver initiates the turn into the corner. Apex, the innermost point of the corner that the driver aims to clip. Exit point, where the driver finishes the turn and begins accelerating onto the next straight. By entering the corner from the outside edge, clipping the apex, and exiting back to the outside, the driver effectively straightens the curve. This method reduces the lateral forces acting on the vehicle, allowing for higher speeds and better control through the corner. It's important to note that the ideal racing line can vary based on several factors, including the specific track layout, vehicle characteristics, and driving conditions. For instance, in wet conditions, drivers may opt for a different line to find better grip, as the traditional racing line can become slippery due to rubber deposits. Understanding and mastering the racing line is fundamental for any driver, aiming to improve lap times and overall performance on the track. Segment 2. Key components of the racing line. Mastering the racing line involves understanding and executing four fundamental components: the braking point, turn-in point, apex, and exit point. Each plays a pivotal role in navigating corners efficiently and effectively. 1. Braking point. The braking point is where a driver begins to decelerate before entering a corner. Determining the optimal braking point is crucial. Braking too early can result in lost time, while braking too late may cause the car to overshoot the turn. Factors influencing the braking point include the car's speed, track conditions, and the corner's characteristics. For instance, in high-speed corners, drivers may brake earlier to ensure stability, whereas in slower corners, they might brake later to maximize speed into the turn. Advanced techniques like trail braking, where braking continues into the corner, can help maintain balance and control. Second turn-in point. The turn-in point is the moment a driver begins steering into the corner. Choosing the correct turn-in point sets the trajectory for the rest of the corner. Turning in too early can lead to understeer, causing the car to drift wide, while turning in too late may result in oversteer or missing the apex. Drivers often use visual cues on the track, such as markings or specific landmarks, to identify consistent turn-in points. Consistency in hitting the turn-in point is vital for maintaining rhythm and optimizing cornering speed. Third, apex. The apex is the innermost point of the corner that a driver aims to clip. There are different types of apexes. Early apex, hitting the inside of the corner sooner, which can increase entry speed, but may compromise exit speed. Geometric apex, the central point of the corner, often used in consistent radius turns. Late apex, delaying the apex to allow for earlier acceleration on exit, beneficial for corners leading onto long straights. Selecting the appropriate apex type depends on the specific corner and the desired outcome, such as maximizing exit speed or maintaining momentum. Fourth, exit point. The exit point is where the car completes the corner and transitions back to full acceleration. A well-executed exit allows the driver to carry maximum speed onto the following straight. To achieve this, the driver should unwind the steering wheel smoothly while progressively applying the throttle. Using the full width of the track on exit helps in straightening the car's path, reducing lateral forces and enabling earlier and more aggressive acceleration. This technique is especially important in competitive scenarios where every fraction of a second counts. By meticulously understanding and executing each of these components, braking point, turn-in point, apex, and exit point, drivers can optimize their racing lines, leading to improved lap times and enhanced on-track performance. Mastery of these elements is a continuous process, requiring practice, analysis, and adaptation to varying track conditions and vehicle dynamics. Segment 3. Types of racing lines. In motorsport, the path a driver chooses through a corner, known as the racing line, can significantly influence performance. While the classic outside-inside-outside trajectory is a foundational concept, various types of racing lines are employed depending on specific scenarios. Let's examine the primary types: the geometric line, the late apex, and the early apex. First, geometric line, classic racing line. The geometric line represents the widest possible arc through a corner, aiming to maintain a constant radius and speed. This approach involves entering the corner from the outside edge, clipping the apex at the midpoint, and exiting back to the outside. Advantages: maintains momentum, especially beneficial for lower-powered vehicles. Reduces the severity of steering inputs, promoting stability. Minimizes tire wear by avoiding abrupt directional changes. Considerations: may not provide the fastest exit speed, particularly when a long straight follows the corner. Less effective in complex corner sequences where positioning for the next turn is crucial. Second late apex line. The late apex line involves turning into the corner later than the geometric line, resulting in an apex point situated further along the curve. This strategy allows for a straighter exit path, enabling earlier and more aggressive acceleration onto subsequent straights. Advantages: facilitates higher exit speeds, crucial for maximizing performance on following straights. Provides better visibility through the corner, aiding in precise throttle application. Offers increased flexibility in adapting to varying track conditions. Considerations: requires precise timing and control to avoid understeer during the delayed turn-in. May not be suitable for all corner types, particularly those without significant straights afterward. 3. Early apex line. The early apex line involves initiating the turn-in sooner, clipping the apex before the corner's midpoint. While this can allow for higher entry speeds, it often results in a tighter exit trajectory, necessitating reduced throttle application to maintain control. Advantages: can be effective in certain overtaking scenarios by surprising competitors with an unexpected line. Might be advantageous in specific corner configurations where early positioning is critical. Considerations: increases the risk of running wide on exit, potentially leading to off-track excursions. Often compromises exit speed, making it less favorable for overall lap time optimization. Selecting the appropriate racing line is a dynamic decision influenced by various factors, including vehicle characteristics, track layout, and specific racing scenarios. Understanding the nuances of each line type empowers drivers to adapt their strategies effectively, enhancing performance and competitiveness on the track. Segment 4. Adapting the racing line. In motorsport, the optimal racing line isn't a one-size-fits-all solution. Drivers must adapt their lines based on a multitude of factors, including weather conditions, track surface, tire performance, and strategic race situations. Let's explore how these elements influence the choice of racing line. 1. Wet conditions. Navigating the rain line. When the track is wet, the traditional racing line, often laden with rubber deposits, can become perilously slippery. This is because the rubbered-in areas retain less water, but the combination of rubber and moisture reduces grip significantly. To counter this, drivers seek alternative paths known as rain lines. These lines typically involve wider entries and exits. By steering clear of the polished racing line, drivers find more abrasive asphalt that offers better traction. Earlier braking. Wet conditions necessitate longer braking distances. Drivers often brake earlier and more gently to prevent lockups. Avoiding painted surfaces, track markings and curbs can be extremely slick when wet, so drivers aim to avoid them. Adapting to these conditions requires experience and a keen sense of the evolving grip levels throughout the race. 2. Overtaking, modifying the line for a pass. Overtaking is a critical aspect of racing, and it often requires deviating from the optimal racing line. When attempting to pass, drivers might take the inside line. This shorter path can provide an advantage, especially in braking zones, but it may compromise exit speed. Opt for the outside line. While riskier due to potential understeer and less grip, a successful outside pass can set up better positioning for subsequent corners. Executing an overtake involves not just speed, but also strategic positioning and anticipation of the opponent's moves. 3. Defensive driving. Protecting position. Conversely, when defending a position, drivers may alter their racing line to make overtaking more difficult for competitors. Common defensive tactics include blocking the inside line. By positioning the car on the inside, a driver can deter opponents from attempting a pass in that area. Early apexing. Entering the corner earlier can slow down the exit speed, but it prevents the trailing car from exploiting the inside line. It's important to note that while defensive driving is part of racecraft, it must be executed within the rules to avoid penalties for blocking or unsportsmanlike behavior. 4th, tire management. Adjusting for wear and performance. As tires degrade over the course of a race, grip levels change, necessitating adjustments to the racing line. Drivers might alter braking points. Worn tires require earlier braking to maintain control. Modify cornering approach. Taking a slightly wider line can reduce the stress on tires, preserving their performance. Effective tire management through line adaptation is crucial for maintaining consistent lap times and ensuring competitiveness throughout the race. In summary, the racing line is a dynamic concept, influenced by a myriad of factors. Mastering the ability to adapt one's line in response to changing conditions and strategic needs is a hallmark of skilled driving, contributing significantly to success on the track. Segment 5. The science behind the racing line. Understanding the physics can provide deeper insights into why certain lines are faster. The goal is to maximize the car's grip and minimize the lateral forces acting upon it. By taking a wider arc through a corner, you reduce the required centripetal force, allowing for higher speeds without losing traction. Additionally, the timing of acceleration is crucial. Ideally, you want to begin accelerating at the apex, where the car is most stable, and the path ahead allows for power application without compromising control. During cornering, braking, or acceleration, weight shifts within the vehicle, a phenomenon known as load transfer. For instance, braking shifts weight to the front wheels, while acceleration shifts it to the rear. In corners, weight shifts to the outer wheels. Managing load transfer is crucial as it affects tire grip. Excessive load on a tire can lead to reduced traction, while insufficient load can cause the tire to lose contact with the road. Drivers adjust their inputs, steering, braking, and throttle to manage load transfer effectively, maintaining optimal grip throughout the corner. Thank you for watching, and remember to subscribe to learn more about racing and Formula One.